Happy Saturday. Big welcome to Bryce Macina tonight. How you doing tonight, Bryce?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate you having me on the show. I'm excited to talk.
Hey, me too, man. You have a very interesting, future and background. So look forward to talking more about it. I researched the best I could coming into the episode. So hopefully we did our due diligence here.
Yep, sir.
So, man, how you feeling? Where are you coming in from today?
I'm feeling great. I'm coming in from Syracuse, New York. It's where I'm born and raised.
So you recently signed to a football team in Finland, and we'll get to that more, as we go. But I mean, coming just straight up, traveling out of the country from New York, are you a little nervous to head out for your first real gig?
Absolutely. The furthest I've been, like I've traveled to different states for combines and stuff, but the furthest I've lived from my house was in New Hampshire, which is where I went to college, which is only about 5 hours away. And, I didn't expect to even, I was hoping to stay in the States to play, but I did not expect to be going to a different country. So it's definitely going to be something different for me, but, I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Looking at the pictures and stuff online, it looks pretty good. I mean, you look like you have a lot to do there. There's a lot of good sites, and then you'll have football. So, congrats on the good spot. Seriously.
Thank you. Absolutely. I know I've talked to some of my players, the coaches, and they have nothing but good things to say about over there. Like just the scenery, the things that you can do, the attractions, and just the people overall. That they're just great people over there. So I think it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I never really researched the area until we started talking. So, good to actually research it, man. It seems really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you signed to the Lohja Crusaders in Finland as a quarterback. We're going to talk more about that as we go, but just want to get to know a little bit more about your background. I mean, tell me like where you come from, where were you raised? I mean, and your high school experience leading up through college.
Yeah, absolutely. I can kind of imagine. I'll kind of start from the beginning I'm born and raised in Syracuse, New York. For those that don't know, it'd be Central New York area. I started playing ball around 7 years old. Started playing like flag ball, of course, and went into tackle. I didn't really at first enjoy it, that much. I enjoyed running around, being a little kid and stuff, but it wasn't my thing. I remember one of the first few years I ended up like quitting because there was like a mean coach or something like that, and I was like, forget this, I don't want to do it. But I continued to play just because I was always liking to run around and stuff. And I remember there was a point where, like further down the road, where my father became my head coach of my Pop Warner team, and throughout that time was kind of really where I developed my love for football. I started really liking football, and I played like a bunch of different positions before, fullback and lineman, but he knew what my talent was. He knew I could throw the ball. He knew how hard I worked at that, and so he let me play quarterback. Of course, I had to earn the spot, but that's where I started playing quarterback. And from there on out, that's kind of the position that stuck with it. I played defense too, but quarterback was the position that I loved. I loved having everything on your shoulders, whether it was good or bad, just knowing that, you're to blame regardless of the situation, whatever the outcome of the game is. And so I continued on, go to high school. I went to Onondaga Central High School, it's a small, like what we call a Class D school in New York. So that's where I was in high school, and we had talent like that came through our school. I don't know if you know Latavius Murray, who's in the NFL right now, plays for the Bills. He went through our high school. Mike Hart, who he set multiple records during his time in high school, and went to Michigan and set records there. So we had for a small school, we had some talent go through there. Not really many quarterbacks, but I made best with what I could. And going on up into my older years in high school, I think it was 10th grade was when I finally started playing varsity, and I got a starting spot. There was like some point in midway through the season where one of the older quarterbacks missed a game for something, and I kind of came in, played really well, and then I just kind of ran with it for the rest of the season. I had the reins for the rest of the season, and kind of started making a name for myself with that. And it wasn't until my senior year we finally went and we played. I had a good season, and we went to our sectional championship, which is in our area, Section 3, and we won the sectional championship. Throughout that time, I also played basketball too, and I always have like the struggle of thinking, am I going to play basketball? Am I going to play football? Which one is it? And I think when we won that championship, that was what kind of solidified my decision. Like, I want to continue to play football. I want to play football at the next level. And getting recruited was tough. I wasn't getting recruited to play quarterback like I would have liked. I was getting looked at by some Division III schools. A lot of them wanted me as an athlete or a defensive back. And, I struggled with that because I really wanted to play quarterback. Quarterback's a different position. And there was one school that, really, they took a shot on me. That was Hartwick College. And they believed in me that I could come in and possibly do something at the quarterback position. So that's ultimately where I decided that I was going to commit to play. And so, I go there, and I always remember too, even when I first got there was struggles for me to try to, from the beginning, to try to get a starting spot. I remember the first day of camp, all the quarterbacks were sitting in our warm-up lines, and one of the coaches, the offensive coordinator, is coming through, and he's greeting everybody, he's saying their name, and he remembers recruiting them. And then he got to me, and I remember he asked me my name, and I was like, geez, I'm like, you don't even remember my name. But, that's when I kind of knew. I was like, all right, I'm kind of fighting from behind here. But I started to make a name for myself. I had a strong arm. I was a mobile quarterback. I showed that I can do both and I can make plays. And then I, going into my sophomore year, earned the starting spot. I beat out an older guy and started for the season. At the beginning of the season, we were, doing real well. We were winning games. I had a couple 300-yard passing games, couple, five touchdown games, and I was doing well. And then, during the mid part of the season, we started to struggle. And, the coach felt that we had to make a decision at quarterback, and he ended up giving the reins to the older guy midway through the season. And so he started, and that was a tough time for me. I had to really learn about myself and my maturity in football, and see that, I was really immature, and I had to start maturing and, figure it out. But, before that season, I knew that I kind of wanted to transfer. My whole plan was it was a different, different approach, but a plan to go transfer, hopefully Division I, whether it was a preferred walk-on or whatever that may be. So, that I decided that I was going to try to transfer out of there. And throughout that process, I didn't go through the transfer portal. I had to email, a bunch of coaches. The transfer portal wasn't as heavy as it is now. So I was emailing.
What year? What year was this?
This was 2019 to 20 was
Gotcha.
when I was emailing all these coaches and transferring. And like I said, I'm emailing about 300 emails out plus, just emailing every coach on different staffs. Yeah, an extreme amount, because I really wanted to play Division I, and because I wanted to get myself in what I thought was the best situation to play professional football, maybe NFL or CFL. And so I was emailing all those coaches, and I talked to some of them. Some of them were interested. Some of them, I talked to really briefly. One of the bigger ones was Syracuse University. I remember I talked to them, and they loved my film. They were interested in bringing me in. We were talking about coming on visits, and that was a place I really wanted to go. My family, because like I said, I grew up in Syracuse. I grew up and we were watching Syracuse sports for my whole life. Basketball, football, even lacrosse sometimes. And my father worked there, and we loved Syracuse, and that's really where I wanted to go. But they ended up calling me and telling me that they're going to go with another kid that, is coming out of high school, has more years of eligibility, and is, who they wanted to commit originally. And so they gave him the spot. And for me, that was like a pretty hard time. That was a devastating time because I really wanted that. And I thought that was my way into what I wanted for my future. But I started to realize, maybe it didn't happen for a reason. And so I talked to the other coaches. I had some Division II looks of coaches that were interested. And one of those teams was Franklin Pierce University. They talked to me. They were interested, and they offered me an athletic scholarship to go play there over in New Hampshire. And so after thinking about it, I committed to go play there with 2 seasons of eligibility left. I got there, and I'm looking to, take the starting spot and hopefully, win games and continue to go on and play professionally. And, I moved up and down the depth chart, and I struggled with some injuries here and there, things that kind of set me back throughout my junior year. But I played in some games, and I played well enough to kind of make it a little bit of a name for myself and show that I could possibly be the starting quarterback there. Going into my senior season, a few of the quarterbacks transferred, but they brought one, pretty big recruit in Division I. But I stayed, and I decided I was going to try to, duke it out and battle with them. And so I did. We battled it out. Eventually, they told him that he was going to be the starting quarterback, and that I would come off the bench and at the number 2. And early into the season, a few games in, he ended up getting hurt. So then it was my turn. It was my reins to finish out the season, which was for most of the season. And it didn't go, as what I thought it would have went, or what you would have liked it to go. And we struggled as an offense. We couldn't put it together. We had some athletes, man. We had an All-American running back. We had some really good receivers. We had a pretty young line, but we struggled to put it together in the games. And, even the games our offense would play well, sometimes the defense would struggle. It's just we couldn't put it together. And, that's what football is about, is putting it together on the field for those 3-4 hours.
Yep.
So, I graduate from Franklin Pierce after that. And, there was a period of time where it was, for me, it was a lot of like sitting around and deciding what I'm going to do with my career of football. I had to ask myself, like, are you going to continue to try to play, or are you going to, start real life essentially and go get a job, go get 9 to 5 and kind of forget ball. And it was a struggle of a time. And I kind of, just questioned myself about it. I prayed about it, and not long down the road, my agency, Gridiron Crew, I love those guys over there. Great group of guys. They contacted me on Instagram, DM. And I know they're asking me, are you looking to be represented? Are you looking to continue your career playing football professionally overseas or in arena? And I was like thinking about it. I'm like, wow, if I'm sitting here asking myself the question, if I want to play and this presented itself, that may be an opportunity for me. That may be the reason to keep going. So eventually I took that opportunity. I became one of their clients, and down the road, they were putting in their work trying to get me signed somewheres. And not too many months later, I got interest of an arena team over in Corpus Christi, Texas, for a new arena league.
And this is last year or this year?
The end of last year.
Understood.
Yeah, so I got in contact with the coach there, the Corpus Christi Tritons it was, and we had a great conversation. And for me, I was nervous about going to play arena because it's a different type of football. It's different. I'm like, am I suit for that kind of football? I know there's a lot of running quarterbacks and stuff, and it's different. But I was like, hey, it's an opportunity presented, so let's take it. And I was set to go play over in Texas. And I was just training and going on about it and getting ready for the season. And then my agent, he hits me up again and he's like, "Hey, Bryce, you got your passport, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got my passport. You told me to get it. I still got it." And he was like, "Well, I got a team over in Finland, and they're interested in you. They love your film. They love how you play, and they want to talk to you." And, in my head, I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And he's like, you don't have to commit to nothing. Just hear him out. Just hear him out and talk to him. Okay, so I talked to him, and they called me. It was the head coach there, Robert Johnson, who actually played under Mike Leach in the air raid offense. Yeah, which is interesting. He played, from what I know, my research, and I talked to him briefly about it, but he went there as a quarterback, and they changed him to receiver. But he was one of the players in the air raid offense under a great coach, and that was one of the things he talked to me about. He was like, "Hey, I played air raid. That's what we're looking to do here. We're looking to throw the ball. As a quarterback, your ears perk up. Like, okay, throw the ball if you play like that." And so, we went on with that. And even after that call, I remember talking to one of my friends, and I was like, "Dude, there's like a 0.1% chance that I do this. I don't want to go play in Finland, honestly." Like, and my agent talked to me about going overseas. I was like, "No, I don't want to. I'm gonna stay in the States." But I remember there was just something. I was asking opinions of all my friends and family, and they helped me out with it. And I was struggling with it, but every time I would think like, "No, I don't want to do that," there'd be something inside of me like telling me like, give it a chance, like do it. And so I couldn't let go of it, and it was really bothering me of thinking about going over to the play. So I really started to consider it, and after a while, long talks with my family and thinking about it, I decided that I was going to go play over there. So I committed to go play, and kind of fast forward to now, that's where I am. I'm committed to go play for the Lohja Crusaders over in Finland. Going over in April. Season starts in like around May, and I'm just training hard and giving everything I got. Because when you don't get many opportunities, and there's somebody that's willing to give you one, you take it a little more personal. You want to give everything you got for them. I want to give everything I have for that organization, for my teammates over there, and I'm really looking to go over there and win a championship. And that's my hopes, and that's where I am right now. I'm just continuing to train and prepare for the season.
So, I mean, had you ever heard of this league before actually signing to them or even talking to them?
No. I've heard of European football, but I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing. I never wanted to know anything, honestly. I was just, my dream was always to go to the NFL, and that's all your mind is focused on. I never knew about it. I never knew Finland had football. I never knew anything about it. And right after I got off the phone call with my coach, I started researching it, and I saw that they have talent there. There's a lot of American imports they bring in that were once dudes here. They were ballers here, and although a lot of the players, the Finnish players, are young, and it's football is kind of new to them for some of them. There's some talented guys over there, some athletes over there that my research that I found. So kind of became more interesting, and I kept looking up more stuff, and I found that it might be something for me.
When does their season start?
So May, I think it's mid-May that we're gonna have one of our first games. Camp starts around the 15th for me. So, but they've been training all year round while we're not there. Well, some of the American imports aren't there. They've just been continuing to go and learn because they're, like I said, they're a little bit younger and new to the game, so they just keep playing. And when we're going in April.
Oh, so you'll be
yeah, absolutely.
I want to ask real quick, man. On your computer, can you turn your audio down just a bit? Whenever I talk and you talk, it puts it together and it's super loud. It sounds like a demon sitting there talking in the background.
Right.
Should be good.
Is that a little better?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
better. It sounds a lot better. Appreciate that. It's just
No
I
problem.
got these headphones on, man, and I know what I hear on here, they're gonna hear in audio, and I just try to fix it as soon as I can. So it's all good.
Yeah, no
Uh,
problem.
but like I told you earlier before we started this, everyone's a learning opportunity, and I have not had this issue happen before where we're getting double feedback in a mic. So anyway, so coming in, you weren't familiar with them, but at this point, you are as familiar as possible. I've looked up this stuff on my end a lot. I've tried to find the best I can, but I can't find like a legitimate source of this information that I need. So, man, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens when you get there. Hopefully, you're going to document your experience on social media. You know, this is something as football fans in America or anywhere else. It's good that you know the opportunities there and kind of you know, you can kind of show people what that includes in Finland. So it's awesome, dude.
Right, absolutely. And I do plan to hopefully, document some of it. Like I said, I've seen, like when I was researching it, trying to find out more, there's not much of it. You can't
Yeah.
learn what it's like to go over there and play. And so it's kind of like you're just going into the dark. And so, if I can help have other people learn about it, like you mentioned, that would be great. So I do hope to kind of document it and put it out there.
Yes, sir. Hey, we got a comment from Dan. Dan said, great attitude, enjoy and bless them as they bless you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dan. That's a great comment. And I do plan to hopefully bless them because they have blessed me.
And XFL Mike G's been commenting in one of our something he said when you had talked earlier. He said things tend to do with our way the way they're meant to do. If I can talk to, Lord have mercy. Things tend to do with are the way they meant to. So I think he meant things are supposed are things are Mike, you're gonna have to send that again because I'm messing that all up, man.
Little tongue twister.
Yeah. I try to say it fast and it's not going good. Basically, things are as they should. Do the best you can. I think you're doing real good, man. It sounds like you're open to your opportunities. Now, let me ask you this question too, and you don't have to get detailed with this, but I'm curious. In terms of the pay and opportunities here, is it similar to opportunities here in like arena or indoor, or kind of? You don't have, like I said, you don't have to tell me exactly, but I'm just curious. I mean, are you gonna you're going to make a decent living doing this there?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a great question. That was one of my biggest questions. Like, how is it going to happen? It is similar to arena in a way. Like, a lot of what your pay is basically benefits. So you're getting housing. You're getting a car. You're getting a phone. Things that you need to live, food and stuff like that. That's what the main part of the contract is there. And then, of course, on the side you get money, and um, that's obviously a bonus. It's not.
Yep.
It's not. Obviously UFL, NFL pay, or even
Yeah.
CFL, but you're making money on top of their paying for your living expenses, essentially.
Understood. Yeah, that's similar to a lot of the other opportunities. I just wanted to ask. I mean, it's as long as it pays your bills and gives you what you need to feel like a player,
Right.
all good on my end, and in my opinion.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
What are you most excited for going over there? I mean, what are you looking forward to the most?
I mean, for me, of course, the football part of it is the most exciting because
Good answer.
yeah, I mean, I really do love football. Um, and, I've questioned myself about it. Do I? And I really do love ball. I'm excited about going to a different place. I know it might be a little bit of a culture shock at first, but I'm excited just to explore a different place, see how other people live, and just see the sightseeing. It's different than what Syracuse, New York is, and it's different from everywhere. There's going to be different wildlife and different scenery.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting, and I'm excited about that too.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a great time to be there too. I mean, what's the season like there through, I guess, April through what? When's the season end? When did you say it ended?
Hopefully, if I heard the championship, we go into like early October if we get to. So it's going to be 5-6 months of time. And
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I've heard talking to some of the players that the season it's great weather there when we're playing ball. Like right now, I know, or like at least a few weeks ago, it was like 1 degree. So it's like it gets cold here in the winter, but I heard that the summers are beautiful.
Good deal. Yeah, that's awfully cold, dude. If that's Fahrenheit for sure. Like, wee.
Yeah.
Too cold for me in the South. I'll
Same
stick
here.
here. So tell me more about you as a player. I mean, we've kind of covered your signing and what to expect and what you expect, but you as a quarterback, how do you consider your play style and you as a football player, what would you say kind of describes you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start with what kind of describes me as a player and what I've kind of been looked at by my teammates and coaches, and I think, and I've been talked to about. One of the things is my toughness. I think I remember during the season, my head coach, which actually made me feel really good, kind of brought it up in a team meeting, because like I mentioned before, we had a young old line and even partially my fault, missing protections. I was taking some hits, and I was always getting up. And that was one thing I pride myself in is I can't control, somebody coming off the edge and giving me a good hit before I even catch the ball, but I can control if I get up or not. So that was one thing I always made sure of is I get up and I get up as fast as I can. And, midway through the season, my teammates started to respect that. My coaches started to respect it. And, he mentioned it, like I said, in the team meeting. So that's, one thing as a ball player, who I am, as I would say is tough. To go into, who I am kind of as a player, like how I play, I won in high school. We ran triple option. We were running triple option every play. I was basically a running back at quarterback essentially.
Gotcha.
But we would spread it out sometimes. But I was running, and through college, I kind of started to become a pro stylish quarterback. I was staying in the pocket, taking hits, and throwing the ball. And I could get out the pocket if I had to, but I started to become more pro style, and kind of still am. And if I were to compare myself to, any NFL player play style, it would probably be like a Aaron Rodgers-ish, Pat Mahomes, where they're not looking to run the ball for 100 yards a game, but if they have to extend a play, they'll get out the pocket, and that's where they're most dangerous. And that's where I want to be, and what I look to do during the season.
So finding that, I mean, you consider yourself a dual threat, I guess?
Yeah, I could. Like I said, I was a little more pro style in high school. I could get around, but if I were to want to be a type of quarterback, it'd be dual threat. Yeah.
Gotcha. Just curious. I mean, watching you play, you definitely got some speed on you. You can move your feet real fast, so that's always a good thing to get out of that pocket. And if you're used to getting tackled, man, I'm sure you can dodge some things. I mean, there's no way around it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I do. I move pretty well, but got some room for improvement there.
Hey, I think being a great player, you can always improve and you can always do better. So that's very humbling to know that, you're like, hey, I got this, but I can improve greatly. So how old are you, by the way? I didn't ask you that initially.
Yeah, I'm 24.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you got some years in the career left, and man, hopefully you go over here and show out, get a bunch of awards, come back home and hit up the UFL some point,
Absolutely. That's the dream. That is the dream. That'd be awesome if I could do it because it's not common to happen. So if I can make it happen, show even if it's one person that it's possible, that'd be awesome.
Do you know kind of like going over, or are you expected to start, or are you going to be having to earn that spot coming in?
I've talked to the coach and he has said that, we're looking to bring you into play to start. I always go in the mindset I'm there to earn it. That's always the mindset that you want to go in with. You can't just go and expect that everything's going to be handed to you. You gotta go take it, So, but he has told me that he does want to play me, and I think I got to just go prove him right, kind of.
There we go. So the opportunity is there, sir. Good luck. Seriously.
So thank you so much.
Let me ask you, what's the most rewarding experience of your athletic career so far?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and I think about it a lot. Like I could say accolade. I could say, having these 300 passing yard games, beating certain teams, or, I won a championship in high school. But I think, for being an athlete over the years was just finding out who I am and seeing how sports and athletics affected that. I believe, God kind of used sport to draw me closer to him and to really figure out who I am. You really figure out, you learn that, you're doing things that not many people are willing to do.
Yeah.
The hours of training, the hours of extra work, you really learn a lot about yourself, what you're willing to give. And I've learned that, when I set my mind to something that I want, like I'm going to give everything I have for it. And, I think just learning that about myself and figuring out who I am is probably the best part of the athletics.
Yeah, almost growing up, learning more about yourself playing it's got to be an experience. I know most of the people I know's career with athletics ended in high school, and you wonder, if you did get the opportunity to take it into college, how does that change you as an individual? How does that make you different? So you can kind of see it with you for sure.
Right, absolutely. Like you said, not many people go past high school. I know a lot of.
Uh-oh, lost you. Give him a second, see if he pops back in. If not, we'll reconnect soon. So no worries, guys. Just be patient. See what happens. I'm going to text him real quick. Make sure it's good. So he's got his computer kind of kicked him, so he'll come back. He's just got to join the link. No worries. I'm going to go ahead. There we go. So he should be coming back in just a second. That's how it goes sometimes with the live streams. I've learned that even when everything's perfect, it's still not. So nothing on his end or mine to actually change this. Yeah, Mike said Jeopardy theme. He'll be back. If not, I'll know. We're texting right now, so no worries. All right. So while he's gone, I will talk about March 19th. That's the next episode of the UFL Insiders podcast, 7:30 Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I'm not going to put the guest out until a couple days prior to the actual show, but that will be the next episode, guys. And following that, we'll have another UFL Insiders on March 24th, same time, and same thing. I will release the guest as we get closer to the date. As far as the AFN Interview Series, I don't have anything scheduled right now for the next couple of weeks because I'm really trying to be UFL focused just with the season starting. There's a lot of things going on with real life and, media life. So trying to keep a good balanced center and doing what we do. And so check out the 19th and 24th for the UFL Insiders. When the season kicks up with UFL, it's going to be pretty busy on my end. Going to be going to a few games and doing some different things. So just check in for that. We probably won't have too many interview series episodes, but we'll have a few if I can get them in. What's up, man? Did you make it back?
You think you got it all figured out, and then you forget to plug it in. So
I wonder if that was what was up with the audio issue as well, because it was doing some buggy audio stuff where, like, when I talked back on my end, I could hear it raw, 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 raw. But it sounds better now completely.
Does it? Okay, that could have been it. No, it's too bad, but sorry about that.
No worries. And I was telling the people at home about my next episodes coming up. So I had some comments. I'm going to answer these real quick. Chris is on it. Chris said, Ducky, Luke Miller, player guest. No, it's going to be both guests will be media members from different media places. different entities among those lines. So there won't be no players that I know of right now. But I just find that getting guests and kind of putting them a month out, those guests tend to get really busy on other shows prior to my show. So doing it a little different, Chris. But anyway, let's hop back on this interview, man. My bad. If it gets messed up again, Bryce, just do the same thing. No worry. You can join right back in. I'll be here holding it down. I feel kind of awkward alone, though. All right. Where were we? So I had a comment
all right, where were
Texas
we?
Talking Football. That's what I wanted to read to you. Texas Talking Football said that's the approach of a great player. Every opportunity has to be earned no matter how it comes about.
Right. Absolutely. I think that was something that was kind of just instilled in me from being young. Like I said, my father.
Hold on, Bryce.
Coach.
You got a little bit of lag going there.
Yeah. Okay. Are we all clear now? You good?
Yeah, it looks better. Yeah. Can you hear me loud and clear when I ask, or is it like really delayed?
I can hear you now. We're all clear. Okay.
Cool.
But yeah, like I was saying, it's kind of just been something that's been instilled in me at a young age. My father was my coach. He always told me, he's like, just because I'm your dad and I'm your coach doesn't mean this is your spot. You know, you have to go earn it. And so that's something that I always try to, even in the future, that I'll try to look at it like that I have to earn the spot and not just be handed it.
Yeah, especially with your dad being the coach. That's an important thing to teach your kid while they play under your coaching, because some people don't learn that and they definitely don't understand the difference. So good thing you do.
Yeah,
seriously.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Let's see, where were we? Oh, let's ask this. Now, this one isn't football related, but I'm just curious. What are some of your hobbies and interests outside of football?
Yeah. My biggest one that my family knows about, because every time they see me, I'm doing it, which is playing video games. That's my biggest thing outside of football. Like after a big win or like we have a good game, a lot of people in college, they like to go out and party and have fun. I was like, let's go. I can go. I can go play my video games. I can play some games for the night, and that's something that I definitely would say is my biggest hobby. And then kind of recently, I've been getting more into building my relationship with God, and that's been a big part of my life, and it's taken up a lot of my time. More and more so as I strengthen that relationship. It never used to be that, but it has slowly became that. So those are the football, the kind of cliche, but football God family football, and that's kind of how I live it, and then sprinkle a little bit of video games in there too.
Just a little bit. What's your game you're playing right now? What's your game of choice?
Oh man, right now more heavily I play NBA 2K24. I like sports games. I like first person shooters, but right now NBA 2K24 is my kind of go to.
Not bad. I thought you'd say Madden or something, but I can see you do have some other interests there.
Yeah, absolutely. Madden is a one that's always installed. I've always had that, and that's always my fallback right there. You can never go wrong with some Madden, but I'll switch here and there around from game to game.
Oh yeah. I'm the same way. I play when I can, but it's definitely a good way to relieve stress. That's not unhealthy unless you make it unhealthy.
Exactly. Right. 100%.
So I'm right there with you, man. And honestly, it's kind of a lot of people I think are scared to talk about it unless they're already famous, because people assume you're lazy just because you play games sometimes. And some of the most successful people I know personally play games of some sort, whether it's on the phone
Absolutely.
or a console, computer, whatever.
Right. And I think for me, like you said, like some people are embarrassed to admit it, but it's one of those things where you have to have a balance. You have to, especially the quarterback position, man. There's so much mental going on. Going home and playing those video games sometimes was just like a relief. You forget. You kind of forget about those tough things that you're going through, and you just play the game. So
For
it's
sure.
definitely good to have that balance.
Yeah, I agree. And Chris Mason said NCAA. Are you excited about that little venture coming out?
Oh yeah, that's gonna bring back some memories. I can't wait. Can't wait to get that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, and this is I'll get off the football or the video game conversation after this, but I've gave up on Madden so many years ago, dude. And I've played it, and like right now, I played it a couple nights ago, but it just pisses me off sometimes, man. So I gave up on it. I'm super excited about the NCAA game, and I'm not a big NCAA fan, but this should be pretty good in our world.
Oh my gosh, it does, man.
So we'll ask a couple more questions from you, man. Then I got a couple guests or a couple audience questions that I want to ask you as well, if that's cool. You still there? You hear me?
I'm sorry, hold on. Could you say that? Kind of skippy. Yeah, I got a little skippy.
You're good.
You
I'm waiting. I can tell you're skipping around, so I'm not trying to say much. I'm waiting till it loads back in, right? But I'm going to ask a question from someone in the audience. Jay said, "Hey, how's it going, fellas? Who is your biggest rivalry coming up, and any stories you got from us from high school or college?"
Rivalries in this new league. I'm not exactly sure what rivalries they have, but hey, whenever I learn, I'll fit right in. I'm ready for a rivalry, but I'm not exactly sure who their rivalry is out there. I think the Crocodiles were the reigning champs last year of that league, so maybe them. I don't know. We'll figure that out. Um, any stories from college or high school? I would say if I'm talking ball from high school, I always remember, one of my biggest memories there was a game we played where we were undefeated 4-0. It was our fifth game of the season, and we were down like 14 to like 35 or 7-35 or something like that. And it came into halftime, and I remember my head coach coming up to me, and he's like, "Man, I'm just gonna give it to you. You call the plays. You call the plays you want." And yeah, you can guess where this is going. And then, I came out and I was excited, and we came back and we won that game.
Hell yeah,
And
that's awesome.
it was great. It was a great feeling. And I remember like telling my family about it after, and it was just like, wow, it just made the comeback that much better, knowing that, I was the one, controlling that offense and calling the plays. And those guys I grew up with, it kind of came back to when we were all little playing at the park, and I was almost freestyling. We were out there just running. I was out there like telling, you run a post, you run a corner, you run the flat, and I'm throwing, I'll figure it out. And we were just playing park ball out there, man. And it was so fun, and it's something I'll never forget.
Sounds like a good time, man.
Absolutely.
I was an offensive lineman, and so I didn't get to do any of the fun stuff like calling plays or catching balls.
Yeah. Didn't do the fun stuff, but you did the important stuff.
Yeah, I think the biggest action I got was, blocking punts, stuff like that. Otherwise, it was just plug that gap and be a big, low body.
Yep.
Well, man, that about wraps it up on my end. That's all the questions I got for you. Is there anything else that you kind of want to say or tell the people that, about yourself or what's coming up? I mean, we've got a good amount of people watching live right now, so it's your shot.
Yeah. I guess I would say, kind of leave anybody, if there's anybody in my situation, if there's anybody younger that's watching, that, if you have a dream, like, don't give up on it. If you have a dream to play ball, don't ever give up on it. That would really be it. If I can one person can watch this, like we talked about earlier, and I can inspire them to just continue to play. It doesn't have to be, going to the NFL. I always had the dream of I want to go to the NFL. But you grow up and you realize, man, even just continuing to play the game, you are beyond fortunate. You're part of the 0.1% that is, continuing to play the game. And in reality, it's, for us, we're grown. We're playing a children's game and we're getting played for it. And that's the way I've started to look at it. And you're blessed each and every single day that you get to play the game. So, take an opportunity. If you really love playing sports and not just football, you love playing sports. If you have an opportunity presented to you and you really love it, just take it. And you'll never know where it could take you. So that'd be the last thing I'd say.
Yeah, do what you love. Definitely. If you're gonna do anything, do what you love and do it the best you can. So, your journey is very interesting, Bryce, and I look forward to seeing how it goes this next year. And you'll have me paying attention and covering a league that I've never even knew existed until now. So, good luck to you, my friend, and please just keep doing what you do. Pursue that relationship with God, be a good football player, and be there for your family. And I think life's going to be where you need it to be. And right now you seem very happy and content, so that's a good way to be.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. No problem at all. XFL Mike G said keep in touch with us throughout the season. Have a great season.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you so much. I'll absolutely keep in touch with you guys, man. Excited to keep talking about it. Maybe in the future you'll be hearing me about playing in the States and in the UFL or something. So hopefully.
Yeah, dude, definitely. Once things kick off for your season next year, I mean, we'll stay in contact, and you come back on, we'll get you on the show again and kind of just check in with you and see how it's going, because I'm very interested in the culture experience as well as the playing experience. I mean, it seems like it's going to be a really good opportunity no matter how you look at it. So, yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
I've had your social media running a little bit at the bottom for Twitter. I didn't know if you had anyone anywhere else you wanted anyone to find you on in terms of socials.
I would probably say my Instagram.
Okay. I'll make sure to add it to the show notes as well, so they'll be able to click that and go right to it.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem, Bryce. Thank you, man, and good luck to you. Stay in touch.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Have a good one. All right. Let's wrap that up. Appreciate Bryce. That was a good interview. I mean, it's really interesting to see all the different opportunities that these players have, whether it's arena ball, indoor ball, UFL, NFL, CFL. It's very interesting to see that there's multiple opportunities and avenues that some of these players can take to be successful. So good luck to you, Bryce, man, and do work for us Americans while you're over there in Finland. I know from talking to a lot of the people that play out of the country, when Americans come in, they really bring a lot of the skill to whatever team or league they're in. So he should be able to shine there. Good luck again, Bryce. Don't forget, March 19th is the next episode of the UFL Insider, 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll announce the guest a couple days on social media beforehand, before we actually have the show. Appreciate you watching. If you watched tonight, thank you so much. Always appreciate the support, the interactions, and the love. So thank you. Interact with us, comment, like, follow, share, whatever. We appreciate you greatly. And it's always a pleasure to come in and do another show with the athlete that people really don't know, and give them that platform to talk and be themselves. So thank you, guys. Check back for March 19th. We should have the episode rolling for the UFL Insiders. I want to thank the Gridiron crew for sending this great guest my way. Appreciate you guys greatly. It's always a pleasure working with you and interviewing your different athletes. I mean, every athlete that I've interviewed from the organization is a great individual, had a different, unique story, and you should check out some of the interviews. Some of them are back on the old XFL Insider podcast where I kind of stuck them into the episodes. And that's why I pulled this away and made this just an interview series for those men or women that, you know, they need a platform, whether they're players, coaches, media, whatever, just whatever it needs to be. That's it for me. Thank you so much. Until next time, my friends, peace out, be good. And yeah, let's get ready for this UFL season to kick up. We got more seasons coming too, though, but I'm most excited about the UFL myself. So thank you again for watching, everybody. It's been an honor and pleasure.
Go hard, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go hard, go hard, go home, go hard, go home, touchdown like an end zone. When the circle turn to my home, can't get me out of my zone. Go hard, go home, go hard.